Alright guys, we're up on another video again, even though there's still loads to figure out and learn about this model. I'm going to share the workflow that I'm up to now, with all the changes that have come the last few days, especially with turbo Loras and the ending of the use of cache, which is, well, I've stopped using it. I think there's a couple that you can use, but you don't want to mix them with the Loras, is my understanding. So let me just show you. I've got three examples I'm going to show you here and talk about where I'm at with it, what I'm doing, and share this workflow with you. And let's go right ahead with that. Right, firstly, I'm still using the int8 convert, but I tested recently an experimental one. Obviously, for all this, you have to have your Comfy UI up to date, and to date is the 10th of August in Australia time. So now what I tested here is one from, so this I tested, it's from KJNodes. It's a reduced version of the int8 in some way. I think it's int4 or something. The W4A8, and it's worse quality, but when you start running into rooms because you're out of VRAM, RAM and swap file space and you really want to get up to 2 megapixels, like is what I'm aiming at all the time now, this can help you get a little bit of extra edge, but it's not perfect, and it's just something I've been testing, but I just threw that in there because that's what I'm on at the moment. I'm trialing it, but I'm probably going to go and try other routes to get to success, or better success than I'm already achieving. Int8 convert, people are still using GUFs. I don't know why, don't bother. You want int8, it's better than FP8, it's better than the GUFs. And the reason it's better than the GUFs, if you don't understand why, is because Comfy UI devs do not support GUFs in this code. Therefore, you're kneecapping your setup if you're using them here. Whereas if you're using int8, you obviously need to be on the latest architecture from them or latest codes from them, which is something like 31 now. Comfy version 31, yeah. I think it's 30 where int8 came in, I don't know. And for this one anyway, for Minimax. And yeah, the next thing is, and I'll put links for everything in the post, in the YouTube and in the Patreon. The next thing is like turbo Lora. Like this has been all week, has been like, which Lora are you using? Which Lora are you using? Everyone's at it, and everyone swears by different ones. But why I'm sticking with the Lite X2V, and I'm using KJNodes, and admittedly I'm using the reduced one, so maybe the other one will be better, but I'm on 12 gigabyte VRAM and trying to squeeze as much VRAM out of this thing as I can. 4 steps means my other discovery, I don't know if I mentioned it last time, but I'm certainly mentioning it now, is there's 2 regards to what you're trying to punch for. Now this model is trained up to 1 MP, and 1 MP is 1 megapixel, and 1 megapixel in 16.9 is roughly that, 13344 or 1376 by 768. But, and I argued this with a few people and then tried it myself and discovered they were right, but if you can get to 2 MP, everything gets fixed and it looks much better. I'm pretty sure I said this last time, but the problem is getting up there. And yeah, so the Lite X, if it's 4 steps, which it is, that gives you the opportunity to go further. And once you get up to 2 MP, I'll show an image example. You're starting to get faces at distances fixed better, but it's not perfect, but it's better. And you know, it's all around finding the balance point and versus time versus energy versus quality, as we know. Now, the other thing is, I've got here 10 seconds, but I'm really not getting very far with 10 seconds. I just There's nothing much I can do about that, even though I have in here, this is what I'm using. Let me talk a bit more about this. So the patch Sage Attention, we need Sage Attention 2.2 is the one I'm using. Memory efficiency Sage Attention patch, that thing I believe just helps keep the VRAM a bit lower when you're topping out. This patch Sol Attention, I'm still not convinced about it, and I don't know where I got these settings, but they're in there. And I don't know, but some people say it clashes with Sage Attention, but I've definitely seen conversations with the big guys that say they work together if set correctly, but I don't really know. I've tried it disabled and I've tried it enabled, and they both seem to do about the same thing. So it might be for bigger cards, but you know, it's in there, or I disable it. This is definitely something you need. I've tried changing these two together. Low VRAM, if you're 12 gigs like me, you need this. Chunk feed forward, if you're 12 gigs like me, you need this. And then it starts addressing the VRAM. It will help you get a bit more out of it, but I've tried it up in these numbers to silly things and you know, acceptable numbers, but nothing seems to change it. So I've just left it at these as default. I haven't been able to find out more about those or how to use them. I am using the LightX Lora, this version, which is from KJNodes, which is adapted at 0.8 strength, 4 steps, and I'm also using ERSTE. I've seen others using EULA beta, and I've seen a lot of people swearing by SA_solver. And apparently that one fixed the sound. The sound is awful. It sounds like Daleks, but I don't care about the sound at this stage. It's what I deal with later. So all I'm caring about at the moment is quality and result, and especially faces at distance. If you know me, you'll know I'm obsessed with that. It's an AI problem, but this thing's got the closest ever to fixing it by far, and in a relatively timely fashion. And yes, it happens at 2 MP. Yeah. Well, there you go. Anyway, the next thing I tried, and this is where I started running into big problems, was getting all my people in the scene and providing the scene. Now, for the prompts, some people are saying, "Oh, just put nice prompts in there." Don't. You really need to give the guider to an LLM and get it to do it, because the prompt is everything. It's everything. It's brilliant. Because the other really big advantage of, if you really nail your prompt down so that everything's covered, then you can do a low res test, get it right, your prompt's tweaked, you've done it quickly, and then just switch it to high res and it'll keep it locked in. And that's new. Like if you've used LTX like I've used it, and you're going upscaling this and then upscaling it again and then upscaling it again, trying to get to perfection, every single upscale you have to completely rejig the prompt. So really, this is getting done 2 MP for 5 seconds I can do in 35 minutes on this setup. This is what I've been doing. And sorry, 25 minutes for 5 seconds. And that, if you're trying to run it through LTX, you might be done in 10 minutes, but actually with all the prompt tweaking, you're probably going to take an hour, maybe more. So this is actually speeding up the process overall. Now, one thing I've run into as a problem here is that I was using the sounds as well, the audio, and it worked for 2 of them, the guy and her, but then it used her voice on her. This woman's just silent, so I didn't put it in there. And they all sound a bit Dalek-y. So, and the other thing was really fast, because there's so much going on. It's loading it all into VRAM, and I don't like that. So I'm now disabling this. I won't be using audio because I need to get up to 2 MP if I can, and I was trying to do it with dialogue scenes. I can't do dialogue scenes in 5 seconds. I need dialogue scenes to last 10 seconds. So it's doubled the problem that I'd solved at 5 seconds, and I can't even get past the ooms. 8 seconds is kind of where the middle ground, and I can do it. So I'll probably be doing 8-second videos when I have to do long dialogue scenes such as this. And the other trick I tried, which is, I won't fuff around showing you, I'm trying to make this quick, is disable all these and put all 4 of them together in one, and that does work, and it does reduce the VRAM here, and it does speed up the time it takes to finish. And I was able to get up to 1660 I went for the 1.5 there, the 1.5 megapixels. I was able to do it. It took 25 minutes. I did it with the W48 model, and I'll show you the quality here. I wasn't that impressed with it. And really, the amount of time it's taking, I need to get good quality. Now, there's an interesting thing that I've just seen. I've literally just started downloading a WAN 2.2 model that's an NVFP, because there's a guy called Heat Show that's just shown us this absolute perfect resolution of like 0.4 MP You know, I'm going to start talking in MPs a lot now, and there's a grade here, 0.4 MP. He ran it, he's got like a 2060 or something, like nothing, 6 GB or something ridiculous. And he's showing better quality than I'm creating. And I'm like, how have you done this? And what he's doing is he's making it in here at 0.1 MP, which is very short, but some little kind of video thing. And then he's shoving it through this WAN 2.2 NVP low, something I've never seen before. Really small size 8 GB WAN model and getting perfect results. Now, one of the problems here, I think I described before, is upscaling's no good. Not for this. What I need is detailing, polishing, and that might actually do it. So I'm going to test that next, but that's another reason why I'm doing this video now, because I'm kind of branching into the next stages at this point. One thing I like about this is, you know, this is all there is to it. It's kind of, everything else is the original workflow, and LTX was just laboriously piled on so many nodes to achieve things, but we'll see. There's also, I was hoping for the H3, the Minimax-H3 upscaler to solve all problems, but as someone pointed out, you're probably going to need a server farm to run it, because you're going up to 1920 or 1080p or whatever, and it's probably not going to work on consumer grade for us. So I think we're going to be stuck trying to find other solutions. But, you know, at 5 seconds, I've got results that I'm actually happy with and I can work with. So now I'm just trying to solve the 8 seconds. I'd love 10, but I think I'm going to go for 8. I don't know why I did that. But just to try and, you know, squeeze into the VRAM. And, as, you know, people are we're trying to fix ohms where you've actually reached the absolute limit of what your setup can do. You know, your VRAM's full, your RAM's full, your swap file's full. As someone just posted to me, have you tried using your toaster? I mean, it gets to that, doesn't it? Is there anything else I could plug this thing into that I could actually offload something onto? But yeah, anyway, I think that'll do for now. I'll just show you examples with maybe text of what I've been doing and what I've achieved, and some of the, you know, this is another thing as well, which I've been asking around about and I'm going to look into, is one thing I've discovered is the text to video is way better quality than image to video in this model. And you can get really good faces at really low 0.5. Once you're there, you've got good quality at T to V, and it's fast. Whereas if you try and do that at I to V with all your perfect, you know, even if they're larger size, I to V just overloads, and you've got to get up to 2 MP to get it looking good at distance and everything like that. But then that made me realise, what if we could train Loras on multiple characters? Because when you're using T to V, you can put like, oh, take all the people, I can't remember their names, the people from the Friends sitcom, and I want so-and-so over there and so-and-so over here, and, you know, all together, or maybe just one of them or two of them comes in, and it works. So why can't we train multiple characters, give it to this thing, and go, oh, right, these are my cast of characters for the movie I'm making, and use them right the way through the whatever film you're making, or whatever sitcom, or whatever you're doing. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I'm going to look at next. And someone said about 3 months ago, a guy actually did a multiple LoRa training of multiple characters, because as far as I knew, you couldn't do it because they bleed into each other. But apparently it's been achieved with LTX, which is the first I heard of it, but I've got to look at that. And, you know, at the moment, I'm still trying to figure out how to squeeze everything into VRAM and plug in my toaster. So more on that as I get there. I think that's it. If there's something I missed, I'll chuck it on the end. That'll do for now. Chat to you later.
He's drunk, the asshole. Like you aren't high half the time. Shut up, bitch!
I may have had a couple of drinks. I was nervous.
He's drunk, the asshole. Like you aren't high half the time. Shut up, bitch!
I may have had a couple of drinks. I was nervous.
He's drunk, the asshole. Like you aren't high half the time. Shut up, bitch!
I may have had a couple of drinks. I was nervous.